All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you out there today. We thank each and one of you for an opportunity to come before you today and share what the Most High has given us. We greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior Christ today. We thank you once again for joining us, as we said in the outset. We're coming to you today to start a new series, what we're calling The Awakening. The Awakening. And this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing throughout Liberation 2017 this year. Now, some of you may have joined us back in February when we did the teaching series, Recapturing Our Identity. And we thank each and every one of you for participating with us throughout the month of February. We felt like it was very successful. We got a lot of feedback from people from all across the world, actually, that actually took part of the video and watched it in its entirety. And we still got some people that's contacting us as early as last week, talking about how the videos were a blessing to them and opened their eyes to some things. And so that excites us and it encourages us. But on last Sabbath, the family, we had an opportunity to come together in fellowship and observe our first Passover, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. And as some of the brethren was talking that evening, as we were celebrating, we began to talk and say that, you know, we did a good work back in February. We did some things. We touched some people's lives. We gave them some truth. But we can't stop there. And as I began Liberation 2017 this year, I felt the necessity to take this opportunity each Sabbath that we have with you, that we're not on the road, and to come out and to come to you in your homes, where you're at on the Sabbath, and release this information that the Most High has given us. You know, it was really good. I feel that even though I think that the Most High used me, I could have been a lot more effective. My attack, I was attacking the system in so many words, I would say, instead of coming to the people. This time I'm not worried about the system. The enemy is going to do what the enemy is going to do. They're already playing their part. But what we see in our neighborhoods and our communities and nationwide and worldwide is that our people are still lost. Our people are still suffering from the things that are attacking them on a constant basis, which the Bible calls Jacob's trouble. Our people are still have no idea who they are. Our people are still being murdered in the streets. Our people are still on addictions. Our children are still helplessly wandering in a state of bliss. So we felt the need to come back today and to continue each Sabbath, that we're not on the road, to do what we call the awakening. And this is going to be strictly about the people. This is about the love that the Most High has for the people, and that He's instilled in us to awaken our people and get us into a place where we can be effective users, used by the Most High. So we thank you today for joining us. Some of you that watched last February noticed that the videos were a little long. Today, I can promise you today that today will be the longest video. What we're going to do is, throughout this year, we're going to make sure, because we're going to be going on most of the Sabbaths, we're going to condense these things to right at an hour so that we don't take too much of your time on these Saturdays. We know you got a lot of things going on. So this today will be probably the longest video. And then ongoing, we're going to go about an hour. We're not going to do 2 hours, taking too much of your time, because we know you have a lot going on, and we appreciate and honor your time. So without further ado, we're going to get started today. And today's lesson is entitled, It's Time to Open Your Eyes. It is time to open your eyes. If you have your Bibles, could you go with me to Mark the 8th chapter? Mark the 8th chapter. And we're going to look at verses 22 to 25 there. For me, set of scriptures, but we're going to use this to be the foundation for what we go over today. Mark, the 8th chapter, and we're going to look at verses 22 through 25. And today's lesson is, it's time to open your eyes. Now, on the outset, before we get started, I do need to stress to you that even though this is a message for everybody that is seeking to be in Christ, we are focusing a lot on our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African American that is in this country. Anybody that knows me knows my ministry is to everybody, and we are about everybody being saved. But our people need some special attention. Our people needs the understanding of who they are and to recapture their heritage and their identity. Our people have no idea where they come from. Our people have no idea where they're going. And so you're going to hear a lot throughout these series about our people. And if you have some people that you know needs to hear this word, needs to be broken down in a place where they can understand, make sure you share it. Make sure you share it with the people on your friends list. Invite your people on your friend list to come into this, because we're going to be giving this truth out today, and it's going to be life-changing. All right, Mark the 8th chapter. Let's get started here at verse 22. As a matter of fact, you can just go ahead and read through 22 to 25. We're going to go back to breaking down.
22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him and asked him if he saw out. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that he put his hands upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored. And he saw every man clearly.
All right. Now, today's lesson once again is, it is time to open your eyes. It is time to open your eyes. Now, we have 3 types of people in this world. 3 types of people. It can all be broken down into 3 types of people. Number 1, those people who are seeking help. Number 2, those who are getting help. And number 3, the helpful. So I'm going to say that again. There's 3 types of people in this world. Those who are seeking help, those who are getting help, and the helpful. All right? Now, in this set of scriptures today, we can see the 3 versions of what this man is coming from. Verse 23 says here that when he came, verse 22 says that when he came to Bethsaida, they brought him a blind man and begged him to touch him. Now, to understand the fullness of this, you have to understand the background of this. Was that when Christ came into the city initially, this was one of the cities where they was all constantly looking for a sign. They was constantly looking for understanding. They was looking for proof who Christ was. They did not want to take him at his word. So it looks like these people are coming to him because they want the brother to be healed. But really the truth of the matter is that what they were doing to Christ was they were testing him, okay? They were testing him. So you notice here in verse 23 it says, read verse 23 for them again.
23?
Yes, sir.
And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town.
Okay, so right there we see here that because of you have to understand that where there's no faith, there can be no miracles. And many of you are saying to yourself, you know, I'm seeking help. I'm seeking help. And many of you, for looking for help, what the old saying is, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. So many of our women today that are seeking love, and they're going to men that mean them no good. Some of our brothers who are stressed out and depressed, and they're going through things, and they're going to the liquor store, and they're going to their local drug dealer, seeking help. And even though they need help on a more personal level, they're bringing other things in to get help. But then you also have the people that are seeking help, and they're going to churches, and they're going to family members, and they're going to people that they know are Christians, but Some of these people are just church folks. They're not believers in Christ. Some of these people's churches are built on things that have nothing to do with the Bible. They're just a meeting of people who like to come together. And so you notice here in verse 23, from when he was seeking help, that the first thing Christ did was take him out of the city. So I want to announce to you today is that some of you are going to have to leave some of the surroundings that you're in. In order to walk with Christ, it requires some form of separation. For the Bible tells us in Amos 3:3 that how can they walk together lest they agree? How can two walk together unless they agree? So what we have to understand is that now in your awakening, as we get back to the lesson here today,